Welcome back to Stauffer Garage, guys. Today's episode is a requested one from the last video that I did. Everybody wanted to know how to clean carpets, especially in your car. I'm going to do floor mats as well, but today in particular is around the fact that people spill coffee, your kids spill crap. If you've seen my other videos, you know my kids make a mess. I do have this cup of coffee, this espresso right here that I'm going to be sipping on, but I'm also going to just go ahead and pour it right across the carpet because I want to show you guys 4 different types of cleaning methods that you guys can use, whether you want to go extreme or if you want to just kind of do it a more simple method. Method number 1 is going to be just using Dawn dish soap, some hot water, some rags, and some kind of like bristled brush that you can get at any store around the world. Number 2 is going to be using Resolve or any sort of carpet cleaner that you can get for stain removing in your house. Use it in your car as well. It's the same stuff. It's carpet, right? Step number 3 will be using a dedicated type of shampoo. It can be Resolve as well. I have a few couple all-purpose cleaners that I use in my detailing. We're going to use that, and then we're also going to be using the shop vac as wet extraction. And number 4 is going to be the more extreme method, but I did it on a really cheap budget. So the little Mean Green machine, which is those little tiny portable carpet cleaners, you can even have the larger ones that you can get at the store that are like full-size vacuum cleaner type ones. I found mine on Craigslist for 25 bucks. It's used, it works, it gets the job done. And then I picked up a bottle of this stuff at Target the other day. It's Bazell Boost Carpet Cleaning with Oxy. 9 bucks. So 30 bucks total for step number 4, which is probably the most intricate and most extreme, but will probably get the best job done. If you guys are new, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. Like this video and share it with your friends if you know that they probably spilled their coffee in their car, or if they have kids that are gremlins like mine. This video will help them. Maybe make them a very happy person when their carpets are clean. Oh, that's so good. If you do have stains that kind of creep underneath some of these plastic panels and components, you can see these are just Phillip head screws in all of these different plastic pieces. So once you take those screws out, all of these panels come up so you can get to some of these darker stains. I have a few in here. You can kind of see in here. This is probably the worst area just because we have captain seats on both sides, and this area is where all the kids always walk, whether it's in the wintertime or summer with dirt and mud or salt and snow. This is our worst part. So I'll probably clean some of this too, but we'll stick to kind of this side over here for our coffee kind of test. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of tape off some areas so we can kind of test each one individually. But this is gonna be an interesting one. We'll see how it kind of spread it around a little bit here, so you guys can see that this is legit. So like I mentioned, the first step is going to be using Dawn dish soap. These are just a spray bottle. I'm gonna get some warm water in here. I highly recommend for all of these different steps, use warm water. Warm water is going to be able to kind of help everything release better than cold. It's like washing your hands. You always use hot water or warm water instead of cold. So water, we got some Dawn dish soap or any sort of degreasing soap. And we'll go ahead and do that one on the first spot right here as our first process. So right here, we'll go ahead and use the Dawn dish soap. This one will be the Resolve. This one will be an all-purpose type cleaner with the shop vac. And this one will be using the actual carpet cleaner dedicated stuff with the carpet cleaner machine. All right, so this is the area right here that we're gonna focus on. I have my warm water, which is just in a spray bottle. We have our Dawn dish soap, and then just a rag is what we're gonna be using here. First, what I wanna do is just take some water, kind of spray it in the area to get some extra fluid in there. Even if the coffee is dry, this is always a good thing to do. Now in this case, what I would recommend doing is taking your scrub brush and just kind of adding the Dawn to the top of that. That way you're not putting it in one area and saturating, this kind of will spread it out. And what you can do is do front, back, sideways motions, and then do some circular motions as well. And you can see it's already starting to turn the actual soap to a brown color from the coffee. And after that first pass, what I would recommend is that should be enough soap within there. And now what you just need to do is slowly start diluting it down to just water and using your rag to soak it up. So it looks like it didn't do too bad of a job. It is still a little wet. It might be a little bit of brown in there from the coffee, but for the most part, it didn't do too bad. The longer you kind of let something sit, obviously the more likely that it'll kind of have a chance to set and take a little longer to clean. But for the most part, I mean, Dawn didn't do too bad of a job, or any kind of degreaser soap that you'd use in your kitchen. We'll go and let that dry, but let's go ahead and try Resolve and see how that does. Honestly, Resolve for me, I've never really been fond of it or any sort of cleaner like that. It's just, it almost creates just like a foamy mess, and you really just never feel like you get it all up. So what I'll do is I'll just try to dilute it a little bit with some water. Let's see if that helps soak it up. Nope, I feel like it made it worse. And I think what I'll have to do here is with the Resolve, kind of just let it sit and do its thing, because I believe that's what it says in the bottle, and just let it sit for a little bit. It doesn't seem like it did too bad. I mean, here it's still a little damp from the Dawn, which did an okay job. You can kind of see there's a little coffee right here still, but the Resolve isn't doing too bad. I'm sure it's pulling it out, but any of these two methods that aren't using some sort of extraction are really not just kind of taking care of the surface. They're not really pulling anything out of the carpet itself. So this one is going to be using the Shop Vac, an all-purpose cleaner, which for me, I'm using 303 Aerospace Cleaner. And the one thing that you can do with some of these all-purpose cleaners too is you can start out with the cleaner, agitate it, extract it with your wet vac, and then follow up with some hot water. And then if you have to, you can go through the process again and rinse and repeat. Sometimes that's necessary depending on how long the stain has been there and what the stain is. But in this case, I'm sure probably one step might be enough to do it. And then if you use hot water at the end of any of these, it does help kind of pull out some of that extra product. So even just after one pass, you can kind of see the difference, and it's really a fast process when you have something like this to use as a tool compared to some of these. This is still pretty damp. This is really damp, where here you can kind of see it is still slightly wet, but the actual texture of the fibers of the carpet are all pretty uniform because a lot of the liquid has been extracted. Now that we've done one cleaning pass, I'll go ahead and follow up with some water now. And this is kind of just a reassurance that you've got every last bit of the cleaner out and any of the spilled substance and dirt that's in the carpet. And one thing you can notice here too, there is a little bit of sudsing that's coming up from cleaner that's deeper down, but there's not as much here, whereas within our first pass of rubbing with the towel, it was so much soap and cleaner product, it was a lot to handle and took a long time, whereas here, we've only done one pass of wet vac and we're already seeing a lot less of this shampoo and cleaner. And you can kind of see there's really not a stain there. It's just a little bit of a damp area that's still drying, but turned out pretty well. So the next one that we're going to do here is an actual carpet extractor, which will inject and extract at the same sequence with warm water, and the Bizzell Boost shampoo, which I am not sponsored by, but I picked up for fairly cheap at Target for 10 bucks. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. See if I actually bought something that works. Oh. That's a good sign. So the way these things typically work, any extractor, vacuum, carpet cleaner, you have a button here. This is essentially the nozzle that will squirt the liquid onto it. It'll squirt it on first, so when you're actually going across the carpet, what you want to do is you're going to kind of drag it across slowly, which will inject it, and then your scrub brush will agitate it, and then this is the actual extraction portion. So when you're going across the surface, what you want to do is be holding it down, dragging it across, and extracting at the same time. And then usually you follow up again. You know, you can agitate it as you go, but then you're going to follow up without depressing the nozzle to spray more liquid, to then just use the actual suction to pull out the liquid itself. So I got my warm water in here. And to be honest, I probably went a little overkill on how much I put in here, but this is a demonstration, so that's how this is gonna roll. So I'm not gonna do any sort of prep on the surface here. I'm not gonna lay anything else down. I'm gonna strictly just use this machine, see how it does. I'm optimistic. I think it'll do okay. highly recommend that you guys buy one used if you really want to try doing something like this. There's no need to go spend $300 on a carpet cleaner. Facebook Marketplace, you can find these for cheap. Like I said, I paid 25 bucks. Simple. Here we have the Dawn dish soap with just water. We have the Resolve. We have here using the shop vac, an all-purpose cleaner. And then this is using a carpet cleaner that's dedicated with a carpet cleaner and shampoo. For the most part, I mean, obviously these two are the better options here. Like I mentioned, they're all pretty inexpensive. I would probably stay away from these. The Dawn didn't do too bad if you're in a real hurry. But like carpet shampoo, like Resolve or something, I would just try to avoid in this situation. If you guys liked today's video, give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends if their van looks like mine, or if you know that they're filthy animals like my kids are. This is a whole playlist of videos that you guys should check out. It's got several different things, especially cleaning the outside of your vehicle if you're interested. And I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.